Hey you, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Yubi. I use she, they pronouns, and this is You Becoming a Spiritual Journey. In 2020, I experienced what many people call a spiritual awakening, and I had no idea what to expect. In search for answers, I realized no one had documented the behind-the-scenes process of this unknown process. Without giving it a second thought, my friend helped me purchase a camera and create this channel to show people what the healing process looks like when you're determined to get to the other side. The more I recorded, the more comfortable I got speaking up, but mostly I got comfortable speaking my truth. After many tears, heartbreaks, and breakthroughs, I can confidently say this journey has been worth it. Get ready to get triggered as you watch my transformation unfold. This daily video journey is nothing fancy, nothing professional, just real, unedited, secret experiences unleashed for the world to see. All I ask is for you to keep an open mind, listen, observe, and take notes, because as I go through this process, I leave behind breadcrumbs to help you with your healing journey. Are you ready for what's next? It's still October 9th. So I think my vertigo is coming back. I felt it. After I went to bed. When I recorded the last dream, I felt it. It's like, no. I felt it. So I still kind of feel it. It's not the same degree. When I went to the restroom, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. So then, there's a couple things. Still had more dreams. The vertigo. So I just finished meditating. And I asked about it. I was like, what the hell? So I'm trying to remember the last time. So the videos, I don't think we're there yet. Are we there yet? We're getting there in the next couple weeks in the videos. Or the next week. Damn it. It's the next week. Because I have to post. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it next week. I only have one more week left of the next video. So the ones after that, I think the title of the next chapter is Allowing. And I remember one of the titles is Allowing My Equilibrium. I think I changed it to Balance. Allowing my balance to go off. And it's when I get vertigo again. Or the first time I ever have vertigo. Well, if you don't count my surgery. My ear surgery. And I'm remembering that I had that dream about Abraham Hicks telling me that I was leveling up, and that's why I was getting it. So entertaining ideas, right? So I thought about it and I was just like, what? Yesterday I just had that completion visual, right? So then I wonder, and then the night before that, or a few nights before that, was that dream where I felt like I had completed what I needed to complete. So I asked about that, entertaining me. I said, was that what that was? Like, is this what this is? That the vertigo is that why it's coming back? Because I'm completing another cycle, right? I'm leveling up, if you will. And I got yeah, I got the okay, I got the yes. The vibration. So I was like, okay, am I gonna get it the same intensity? And the answer was no. So I was like, okay. So I'm a little bit upset about that because I actually went to bed wanting to move my furniture around. I used to do that. So yesterday I was a little, not bored, but I was a little bit like still struggling with myself in the sense of what I need to embrace. Like, it's just the day-to-day stuff, right? Like the day-to-day work, responsibilities, staying balanced. And and not enough like tuturu moments, right, for Yubi to keep me entertained. And I'm like, all right, I need to really work on like just slowing down and just embracing, right, everyday stuff, which is fine when it's good when it's balanced. But it takes me a little hard because I know I have to like focus a little more. So I struggle with that one. Just a smidge. Ow, I shouldn't do that. So I was really struggling yesterday, and I stayed up not late. I actually started getting ready to go to bed at 9. But I looked around my room, the living room. I was like, oh, I know I could move the couch like this. And then I remembered when I was younger, in high school, when I finally had my own room, because the first part of my childhood we shared, all three of us kids shared one room. Actually, there's 5 of us. There's 5 of us from my cousins who lived with us. So the second half of my childhood, adolescence, I actually had my own room. We each had our own room. Our cousins had moved out because they graduated college. And I remember we'd go to bed, but then I'd wake up. And I'd be up, like, often. And I'd try to be quiet. And I would move my furniture around. To give it just a new flavor, a new look. And I'd clean at the same time, and I'd have my music really low, and I'd try to be as quiet as possible. And then I'd hear the, "What are you doing up? Go to bed." My parents would peep their heads in. I'd forgotten about that. And so I thought about it. Today I was like, oh, I'll balance, what I need to balance with moving furniture around. Now with this vertigo lingering, I was like, no. So I asked if I could do that, and it was a no. I didn't move. I was like, oh, fine. So then I was just like, well, do I just do my notes, like what I had planned, right? Which was my notes, practice, because I'm doing 2 days this week of presentations. Do I do that? Yes. Do I move furniture? No. I would still come back to moving furniture. No. Like, okay. Do I take a walk if I need a break? Yes. Okay. Do I move furniture? No. I was like, okay, got it. But I'm upset. I'm a smidge upset that I have for like the link. It's not the same, but it's enough to where I'm like, like I don't want to make it worse. So I'm just like, all right, be calm. The other dreams that I was having continue to have this futuristic feel to them. It seemed like everyday life, but there was just this element of advancement. I asked about that too. I asked about, like, am I going to repeat this cycle? And then I realized I think it's my mom's cycle. Because in the dream, my mom was the one that was like coordinating us kids to leave my dad. Whereas in this current life cycle, my dad was the one that left. Us. And I mean, he left us because he knew he was struggling with his mental health, and it was just weighing him down. And I remember his psychiatrist, he told me his psychiatrist told him that he needs to do what's best for him. And he just felt so guilty because he knew that to a certain degree, right, the intergenerational abuse and trauma was replaying out. He saw his dad himself, I'm sure. We all do, right? We all see our parents within ourselves at some point in our lives. And so he told me, he's like, I'm leaving because I know that I'm not well. I forgot what he said. But I knew what he was referring to. And he was just fearful that the cycle was just going to keep repeating. But my mom begged him to stay. A lot of it was out of fear for the stability, I think. And And I think despite all that, she still loved him. I mean, she cried. Like, I remember my mom cried like months after, like, she just was emotionally checked out. I remember that I would hear her crying when I would stay the night, because that first night, that first year that he officially left, I moved out for a year. But when I would come and visit, and then when I would come, so it must have been a year, because I would, after the year I moved back, but I have these memories of her crying, and I would sleep in the living room because it was a 2-bedroom apartment, or house, like a duplex type of thing, and, my mom and my sister shared a room, and my brother had his own room, and because I had moved out the first year, I didn't have a room, so when I moved back the second year, I slept on the couch. Which I didn't mind. It was a futon. I think yeah. But I didn't mind. Was it a futon? No, it was put away. It was just a regular couch, but I didn't mind. I was only there for another year, and then that's when I got married. But how did I bring that up? Oh, because in the second dream, in the dream that I had that feels futuristic, my mom is the one that's getting us out. Like, she's sneaking us out. So I wonder if this is just... So I asked about that. I said, is this another timeline? What is this? Is this... Because it just felt futuristic. It felt like advanced. But it was all of us, and I know, like, we all stick into with similar soul pods, right? And sometimes we switch roles in our families. That's why the dynamics between siblings and parents sometimes shifts, because sometimes, there's a child that feels more like the parent. They probably were the parent in another life, previous life. But anyways, that's what I was thinking, and I asked, and it kind of said yes, that it was like another timeline. Because then I also had another snippet of a dream where I was with my ex, and we were going to Disneyland like we used to do. So my ex and I, that was our thing. We, as much as it's overpriced, and as much as it's like, the whole capitalist stuff, well, that was our thing. We really enjoyed it. And back in the day when the passes were only like $200 for the middle pass, not the Southern California one, but the one up, it was like $200 or $300, and then the deluxe one, which was a fancy one, was like $500, right, for the whole year. We would get it, and we would go to Disneyland. Like, I'm so, like, I mean, I feel so blessed to have been able to go to Disneyland whenever we wanted. We would, yeah, we kept it for a while, and then when the twins were born, we definitely wanted to keep it to take them when they were little, and just, it was just so much fun. There was just this loveliness of joyful, like, innocence, overpriced innocence, right? Because everything's overpriced there. But it was just fun, and every year we would get an ornament. So our Christmas tree was always full of Mickey Mouse ornaments, but we would alternate. So one year he would pick it, and then one year I would pick it. Something we started really later on in our marriage. And but that was our thing. I wanted to be a Disney artist when I was little. I think I fell in love with the story, you know, about like how a man had a dream, boy had a dream, and this mouse and what it became, right? I think that's what it was that I liked, just the manifestation, right, of that dream. But anyways, so in this dream, this snippet of a dream, he and I were going up the stairs because it was our turn to like get on the ride, and it was a different ride. Again, it just seemed very futuristic, and we were just buckling ourselves in, and that's when I started feeling the vertigo in my dream. Was just because it was like a roller coaster, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I think I need to hold on in the dream. So that's one scene. There's another scene that stands out, and it made me question about the classes that I'm taking right now, because the courses in the dream, I'm retaking them, but I'm taking them back to back, and the counselor is talking to me about it and is telling me, are you sure you want to take them back to back, because you might get triggered, is what she said to me. And I'm like, wait, but I already, in my head, I'm like, I already took these classes. Like, it's like I'm seeing myself. That's the thing. Like, I'm seeing myself. I'm being projected out. So I'm seeing the conversation. How can you see a conversation, right? I'm seeing the conversation unfold with the counselor and me about the two courses that I'm taking, because I'm taking them back to back or something, like too close together is what she's saying. And she's saying, don't you want to separate them out because you're going to get triggered. You're going to get triggered. But me watching this, I'm like, I already took these courses. Why am I being told this? So I don't, that's what's confusing me a little bit. It's just like it's like I'm being encouraged to not take them together, to separate them because I'll get triggered, or to give myself space, because I think the way that I'm being shown that I'm taking the courses, it's like back to back. And so she's telling me, like, don't you want a gap, like to separate it in the week or something, like not back to back, because it's going to be emotionally overwhelming. So I woke up with that in my mind. I was just like, because I'm taking two courses and they're both online courses, so it's not like I'm attending class. It's at my own pace, like a self-pace kind of, but not really, because there's deadlines. But so that's what tripped me out. So I asked about that. I was like, is that about my courses? And they said no. But do I still talk about it? Because I want to know if I still talk about it. I said yeah. So for whatever it's worth. The other thing that I wanted to point out that I didn't realize was that yesterday the video that posted was where I'm speaking up against my completion. There was the dream that I had was showing my completion. So I thought that was interesting and wild, that video posted yesterday, when I had the yesterday, right? My yesterday now time, the circle, the cycle closing. And now the vertigo, slight vertigo, I'm trying to keep it at bay. And the dream before that I was done. So I know I'm not done now, I don't think. I don't know. or if it's just this transition into this last cycle, maybe, and that when that video posts, right, if the cycle's repeating, that I'll officially be done. I don't know. That's all. I need to do something. I just remembering thinking about how this particular dream felt like it was a future cycle, for it to look different, right? For it to repeat, but to be done in a different way, and how in that cycle my mom was the one that was taking this away, right, versus my dad leaving. It was my mom taking us kids away, and we were sneaking away. So it made me think about the other dream about my ex, where he was in a different body, but his energy, like I could pick up on his energy. He was just in a different body. And in that dream, I saw him move to Arizona, and he was different. Like his energy, like I knew it was him, but he was in a different body, and he was more assertive. I could see him being more assertive with the person that he was with. Assertive in a way of more, ¿cómo se llama? Not so passive, not so, he took initiative. He was taking a lot of initiative in this dream. And he even bought a house. I remember like looking at, I'm like, you bought a house? And I was trying to figure out, why did you buy a house? This isn't like you to be so like decisive. Because he was never really decisive. And then I see who he's with. And I'm like, you fell in love. Like, it's for this girl, like, that you met. And I could see him being more assert, like, just more, he's just different than what he was with me. It was more of the whiff of him that I experienced that last week that we were together. The more assertive side came out. So I wondered, I did ask about that too. I asked if that was also a future timeline for him. I mean, I don't, because he was in a different body, but his energy was, it was like it was him. I knew it was him. So I just wondered if that was not necessarily something he was going to do in this lifetime, but maybe in the next. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down. You know, in terms of like why we repeat lives to do things a little different, right? With each cycle, it's like, that's what I was thinking about too. I wonder. I don't know, I just wanted to point that out before I forgot. Hey you, thanks for watching. Check out the description box under each episode below for additional thoughts and helpful links like my website, www.ubecominghealed.com, where I've gathered what I've learned and created self-paced online courses for you to access to help you get started on your healing journey. Oh, by the way, did I mention that I have over 20 years of experience in education and mental health? Rest assured these videos are from my past and I'm living on a different timeline. I also offer sessions to answer your questions regarding the courses I've created or to help you figure out your next steps. You can also find me on Instagram and creating side projects like podcast shorts and more on my other YouTube channel that is still a work in progress, but aren't we all? It's titled You Becoming Healed. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share the content if you found this piece of my journey helpful or just to show emotional support for someone who has chosen to live a transparent life that is never ending and always becoming. Until next time.